Well, I'm going to tell you what went on at Obama's 50th birthday. It just came out. You're not going to read this in your local paper. There's a vile black racist comedian whose name I won't mention who is boasting about what went on at the White House. He called it, they said the president's big birthday was a black heaven at an L.A. club. It's on video. We're going to get you the sound for tomorrow. He was boasting about it. He called it black heaven. And I'm going to read you some of the things he said and edit out some of the words that this black racist, untalented vermin had to say. An audience member at the Comedy Store filmed more than 9 minutes of this loudmouth louts act where he said, I felt like I died and went to black heaven. As the party went on, the S got blacker and blacker. He said many things. The video was posted to Real Talk New York without a transcript, but we have it on sound and we're getting it. Here is the vile black racist comedian about your president's 50th birthday blacked out by the media. Quote, as the party went on, the S got blacker and blacker. They were like official white people there, like Geithner and the vice president. What began as a picnic dinner in the Rose Garden soon got wild, Rock said, thanks to DJ Cassidy. Then just when I thought it couldn't get no Blasey in love. Me and Jay looked at each other and we realized we're never going to do shows here, man. They're never going to have me. You got to realize the White House is made by slaves, all right? And he goes on, and he says, on the night of the party, he tweeted about it. And he goes on and talks about some of the white people who were there, the few white people who let in, like Geithner and the vice president. That did not make him uncomfortable. He said, as the party got wilder, it got blacker and blacker. And he said, you got to realize we were doing a doogie in the White House. We did a doogie as the night wore on. I don't know what that is, frankly. I never read that. I'm not up on that one. And he says that world, not just being the president, but being the first black anything. And he says, if you're the first black anything, people, P and S, well, I can't go on with this, okay, because it's so disgusting. This is a very sick man. This is a very demented man, but he was invited to perform at the White House. And he says, Mrs. Obama let him pick the most uncontroversial thing to champion. And he goes on and on about how she tells people to eat bananas. But in fact, she didn't eat bananas that night. She ate barbecue. She said it was barbecue. It's like me and Jay-Z and Emmett Smith and Steve Harvey. They were like official white people. They're like Geithner and the vice president, like those kind of white people. Official white people. You hear this? Would fly very well with the media. He goes on, he says, it was great. Me and Jay were talking about Rich Blackmore as a gas guzzler. You know, what kind of bodyguards you're using now. Oh, Panamanian, I've got some South American guys myself. It was a great party. I mean, they had entertainment. And he talks about the entertainment. And some of it I can't even repeat, even in an edited version. He says, just then when I thought it could get no crazy in love, Beyonce, and then Obama's kids started dancing. They came, Sasha and Malia started doing the doogie. I'm like, OS, like it couldn't get no blacker. This is what's going on in the White House right now. This is the kind of degeneracy. This is the kind of filth. This is the level that the Obamas have brought to the United States of America. They have trashed the presidency. They have trashed the White House. You say, well, I shouldn't be talking about such things. Well, tell it to Chris Rock, because he told it to you, not me. He went up on the stage and boasted about his appearance at an L.A. club, and it was captured on tape by an audience member who is now circulating it on the internet, so you get a real backroom picture of Mr. and Mrs. O when you're not looking. Now you understand the context of why the military was disarmed when their stooge Panetta was sent into a war zone. This didn't come out of a vacuum. Panetta is a stooge. He's a front man, handpicked by the communists who are running this country into the ground, running it off the rails, destroying every institution that's worthy of anything. It doesn't come out of the thin air. When I see that this lout, this racist entertainer, this lout, goes on a stage at a comedy club and unloads on what he really did there and what he really saw there, and I really know this is going, I knew this was going on. I try to warn you. But when it finally comes out in the and the boys and the girls in the government-controlled media. I won't even call it the MSM anymore. That phrase has no meaning, mainstream media. I would call it the government-controlled media, the GCM. The GCM, the government-controlled media, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and a good portion, unfortunately, of our once favorite Fox News. They've been compromised by Murdoch, who is terrified he's going to be indicted by Obama, so they were given their marching orders under the leprechaun to pull back on their criticism of this illegitimate administration. I have a breaking news story for you. I reported on the vile black racist entertainer boasting about O's birthday party as Black Heaven in a rant at the Comedy Club in L.A., which was captured on video by someone who was there. It has just been taken down by the vile black racist entertainers organization, which says it's copyrighted material. And there's no question in my mind that the White House heard about this. They got news that they were disclosed and exposed by the vile black racist entertainer who was boasting on stage, and they have removed it from all websites. You can't find it anymore. Now, the only reference you can find a reference to the article, but you can't actually get the act anymore. The vile black racist entertainers group took it down. And so you can only see the headline on michaelsavage.com. Vile black racist entertainer describes O's birthday as Black Heaven. But if you link to the actual source, Obama Foodorama, and then to a New York site which had it up, you can't find it anymore. Obviously, Axelrod understands that the American people must be kept stupid and must be kept in the fantasy belief that Michelle eats vegetables and fruits, and that everyone invited there is just oh so proper and oh so polite. I just posted another story on michaelsavage.com that I can't say it gets me sick because I expect it by now. I said vile, racist, black entertainer describes Obama's birthday party as Black Heaven. The headline speaks for itself. Vile, racist, black entertainer describes Obama's birthday bash as Black Heaven. Now, what if a vile, white racist from the Ku Klux Klan went out and did his roadside rants talking about white heaven because there was no one there but white people in the White House? Do you think that there might be some outcry in America? But as you well understand, we're living in a time warp where the most vile, racist kind of behavior and conversation can be occurring without so much as a peep out of the vermin who run the media, which is why I still stay in business. We have a hypocrite at every level of the White House, including the First Lady, in my estimation. I know you're not supposed to say a word about it, but I think it's worthy of it. Here she lectures us every day on what to eat. Eat carrots, eat cauliflower, eat broccoli, which I eat, by the way. Every day she tells you to eat a certain way, and here's the state menu for the imposter Cameron who's visiting the White House. The White House released the menu for the state dinner Wednesday honoring British Prime Minister David Cameron. And what they were serving was bison and halibut. Bison, that's buffalo, for those of you who don't know, of course, and there's wines as well. First course, crisped halibut with potato crust. Potato crust, of course, as you well know, is laden with saturated fats. Shaved Brussels sprouts, topped not with air, but with applewood smoked bacon. Michelle Obama wouldn't approve of that, would she? The third course consists of buffalo Wellington, red wine reduction, French beans, and cipollini onion. Finally, there is dessert, which I wouldn't feed to my dog, warm lemon steamed pudding with huckleberry sauce and pippin apples. Again, I don't think the First Lady would approve of a steamed pudding, would she? After all, steamed pudding makes you fat. After all, bison is not to be eaten because bison is meat. You don't want to eat meat in America, do you? You want to eat something light and something politically correct and something very liberal. I don't see any tofu on the menu. I don't see anything of the nature on the menu. Instead, I see the very same things that, well, people like to eat around the world, which is meat and potatoes with lots of butter and lots of dessert.